For every great rhythm game, there are 10 piano tile knockoffs, and Google Play is filled to the brim with them, making it a challenge to find any good games. So once again, I scoured through Google Play's catalog to find obscure games and to see if they deserve the limelight or not. The rules are simple. The game must have less than 100,000 downloads, and I'll be going down to the most obscure rhythm games, kind of like an iceberg video. And the gameplay must be interesting, or at least have good music. Alright, enough talking. Let's go! The first game I want to talk about doesn't have a lot when it comes to features, but less is more, as they say. I think a game that does this quite well is Chainbeat. A viewer named Z-Swirls actually contacted me asking if I could cover this one. They said at first they thought it was one of those kids' rhythm games. Let's just say both of us were pleasantly surprised. It's fairly simple in gameplay, but what it lacks in gimmicks, it makes up for in its music selection. A lot of the songs feel like OSTs or remixes for a video game. The first song I played definitely feels like I'm playing Kirby Superstar Ultra, one of my favorite DS games from yesteryear. I'm also surprised at how thumb-friendly it is. Usually you only see that in idle games, but like idle games, their hardest charts are tricky, so be careful. I got a B on an extra 10 song, one of the highest difficulties. Chainbeat does have ads, but they're not that annoying. I only got 2 in the 20 minutes I played. But I still recommend turning off your Wi-Fi for an uninterrupted experience. It only has 50,000 downloads, so I can say with confidence that it has potential. Add some more features like a practice mode or a PvP mode, or get randomly grouped with other players in a team and play against another team, and the teams could be called hives, going along with the bee theme that the game has. I've only seen Project Sakai do this, and it's a really fun mode. Just a little suggestion that probably won't get noticed by the devs, but hey, it's a fun thought. There are two kinds of developers, the ones that put their heart and soul into the game they're making, and the kind that are only doing it for the money. Of course, I'm talking about the one, the only, Konami, the company behind many, many arcade classics. Everyone likes their arcade games, so it only made sense if they made mobile ports of their 3 most popular games, Beat Mania, Sound Voltex, and Dance Dance Revolution, starting with Beat Mania. Thing is, though, it was a massive flop. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because everything in-game is overpriced. Or maybe it's how the combo score is right in the middle of the screen and you can't see oncoming notes. Or it's straight up uncomfortable to play. Or all three at once! But it's not all bad. They added key sounds, at least. Honestly, it's a mystery why they keep updating this thing. What's not a mystery is why it has so little downloads. Point is, Beat Mania Mobile was such a flop, Konami straight up cancelled SDVX and DVR as mobile as well. Which is a little disappointing because I'm curious of how a mobile version of SDVX would work. Speaking of arcade games gone mobile, the next game I want to look at is a little-known arcade game called Neon FM. Basically, you have 5 buttons and you press accordingly to the notes that scroll down from this bridge. I'm not sure if that's an accurate description. Think nostalgia, but for Western audiences. Its target demographic is people in the West, which is why they have a ton of totally not stolen Monster Cat songs. Personally, I'm not impressed with this game. You know what? Screw it! I hate this game! Its offset system is terrible, they don't give you enough free songs to properly test the game and decide if you want to make an account, and this is just a personal thing, but I really don't like making accounts for games that I'm never ever gonna play, or play like only once. Not to mention, graphic design is their passion, and the UI looks terrible. The only saving grace of this game would be its soundtrack. It's just a giant mix of Western and Eastern artists with a crazy amount of genres. There's even synthwave in here. But unfortunately, there are too many cons that I can't recommend this game. Maybe it's a different story with the cabinets, and maybe some people like the mobile version. I was just unfortunate enough to not have a great time with this game. The app can go die with 2DX Mobile for all I care. Neon FM Mobile wasn't quite there with its concept, and could have been something decent. We never got to see what a mobile SDVX would look like. However, there is a game that brings the best of all worlds with a soundtrack and has a better gaming experience overall, and it's called Dance Rail 3. I've actually played DR3 before, and it's nothing short of amazing. The charts are unique, and whoever programmed this game was definitely inspired by SDVX, while maintaining their originality. But be warned, the higher levels are very challenging. They were doing Archaea 4.0 before 4.0 was even a thing. It's challenging, but also fun. The soundtrack has something for everyone, and I do mean everyone. We have Vocaloid for your edgy kid sister, Toho for your gamer otaku cousin, classic rhythm game music for your Discord group chat, and even EDM for the rest of your normie family. But the best part is, like Figros and Orsmig, DR3, along with its sister game Dance Reel Refresh, is ad-free, no in-app purchases, making it leagues above other games that try and rip you off. It only has 50,000 downloads, so I highly recommend this game and give it the attention it deserves. Now we're getting into the really obscure stuff. I really shouldn't have to say this, but it must be said. Why does Rotino only have 10,000 downloads? For those living under a rock, Rotino is the newest indie mobile rhythm game that makes you rotate your screen to catch notes. I've already made a few videos about this game, so I won't say too much here. Yes, I know, it's $3 and that might turn some people away, but trust me, the $3 are worth it. With an interesting concept, the cool soundtrack, and a story to boot, Rotino provides an experience I don't see in other games. Also, it's thumb friendly, so you have to get the game now. Sitting at 10,000 downloads, we have a game called Polytone. This game I find intriguing. It calls itself a first-person rhythm game. Isn't that what all rhythm games are, to be honest? The notes are flying at you, and you tap them like so them saying it's first person is actually kind of true. Its soundtrack has a lot of modern trance music, and I kind of sound like a boomer when I say this, but I don't like the new trance songs. I'm still stuck in the late 90s, early 2000s when it comes to the trance genre, but that's personal preference. They definitely have an interesting concept on their hands, and I would like to see more of this kind of gameplay in future updates, and add more songs in general. Maybe something from, way back when? Or some harder trance? Now, dear viewer, in order to finish off this list, I want you to take my hand and do a little time traveling with me, all the way back to 2014, to visit a little game called PogoRizzo. Short for Pocket Rhythm, PogoRizzo has been on Google Play for 8 years and has only 10,000 downloads. To play, there are 5 horizontal lines and beats would come in from the left side. It's an interesting gimmick, and the songs are pretty good, from a lot of famous artists. Unfortunately, PogoRizzo hasn't been updated in 5 years, making it more a product of its time. The developer also seems to have disappeared, so that's fun. If I were given the chance to improve Poke, I would add a left-handed mode, cause I'm a lefty myself, but also add a vertical mode, cause why not? We need more good vertical games. Maybe commission people to make original songs for the game. I don't know, I could always volunteer. And there you have it! 6 obscure rhythm games from Google Play. This episode's bunch was a mixed bag, but that's what you get for looking up rhythm games and you just deep dive into the search results. I hope I interested you in some of these games. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the comments.